podcast listeners, I hope that you're coming to letsrun.com each and every day, going to our world famous forum. Hope you're also a Supporters Club member, letsrun.com/subscribe, and going to our new shoe review site, betterrunningshoes.com. Betterrunningshoes.com. But one of the more interesting threads on the message board this week was, most popular threads was, Cooper Teare to leave Bowerman. Says that Cooper Teare will shortly be announcing that he's leaving the Bowerman Tri Club, going to train with Ben Thomas, his old Oregon coach, who has now moved on to Virginia Tech. This has not been confirmed. We'll link to the thread in the show notes. But John, do you think this will end up being true? I've always said that the message board, whenever something's put on there, it always ends up being true. But that's not the case today. I received a call earlier today. A man had been linked romantically to star NCAA runner Parker Valby. He is not dating her, and the thread has been deleted.
Would it surprise me if he leaves Bowerman and joins Ben Thomas? Not at all, because after USA's, where he did not even make the final in the 1500 after winning the thing the year before, he was pretty clear that he and Jerry were not quite on the same page when it came to what training he wanted to do, and with Cooper wanting to be a 1500 guy and Jerry seeing him more as a 5K guy. Now, it would be 1 year. That's not a lot of time to spend in the Bowerman system, but we've seen something like this before. Sinclair Johnson was with Bowerman for 1 year. She decided it wasn't a fit for her. She left, and she immediately wins the U.S. title the next year under Pete Julian. So now he's got Ben Thomas. He had great success with Ben Thomas. He was the U.S. champion under Ben Thomas. And if they're trying to start a new training group out there, if Cole Hocker's heading out there, and maybe he views it as a chance to get the band back together, Ben might see him as more of a 1500 guy. It wouldn't shock me, but I also don't think it's a terrible move for Cooper Teare to just say, hey, okay, I didn't make the final, but I ran some PRs this year under Jerry. He's still a good coach. I can have success under him. I think 1 year is too much to say, oh, clearly it's not a right fit. But at the same time, if you want to be a 1500 guy and Jerry sees you as a 5K guy, you only get one shot at this career. And if that's the event you want to pursue, I can understand why you want to go with a coach who's on the same page with him as that.
I guess the question is, what do you guys think he should do?
It's a tough call in this situation. By the way, John, you didn't give full information about Sinclair Johnson. She did promptly proceed to win the U.S. title under Pete Julian and then regress under Pete Julian in year two. I mean, there's no doubt that she regressed this year, right?
She regressed, but she also lost a month of training right before USA's.
I take that back. Sinclair Johnson PR'd at 800 meters this year, 1:59.76. And she ran almost as fast this year as last year.
Well, she went from getting sixth in the world to not making the final. So, yes, in her main event, she wasn't as good, but I don't think we're saying, oh, Sinclair Johnson's never going to be the same. And that's, I think she'll be back running better in 2024. And I think that you could say the same thing about Cooper Teare. He didn't make the final, but he could still make the U.S. team in the 1500 next year. But I look at these events. I don't think he's ever going to be better than Yaron Nuguse when Nuguse is healthy and at his best. I think same thing with Cole Hocker. Though Cole has had some injury issues and Cooper has beaten him before. I just think the 5,000, but then you got Grant Fisher coming back in the 5,000 and Abdelhamid Noor. It's a tough call. I think both are good training environments for him. Both are really good coaches. I don't think there's a wrong answer, but yeah, I don't know. When I look at Cooper, I've always kind of thought of him as a 5K guy, but he won the U.S. title in the 1500. It's not like he doesn't have wheels. I think I'd go to the 5K if I'm him. I'm just looking at the people he'd have to beat. He's got Hocker, Nuguse, and Kessler, who are all his age or younger. In the 5K, you've got Fisher and you've got Noah, but Kincaid's getting a little older. Chalimo's getting older. McGordy's not old, but he's older than Cooper. I think I'd probably go to focus on the 5K, but I don't know.
Well, John disrespected Joe Klecker.
Klecker's good too. He's never made a team at 5K.
It's a tough call for Cooper because it does sometimes take time for Jerry's system to kick in. And with Sinclair Johnson, he wasn't trying to get her to run 358. He's trying to get her enough volume and reps that she can run like 355. But maybe you're not running ready for 355. Maybe you're never going to run 355. But just the fact that he didn't seem to have faith in Jerry makes me think he is going to leave, and this is true. Now, whether that's the right call or not, God, that's even a tough question too. I think that Ben's training might be better for the 1500. It's a safer type of thing. Like he can definitely at least get back to his college shape. But will the college shape be good enough to make the team? It wasn't 3 years ago. I don't think it will be this year. The more I think about it, I think I would tell him to stay with Jerry. But no, man, I don't know. I don't think he's making the team either way, to be honest. If you don't trust your coach, though, how can you just tell him to do that?
Yeah, in a vacuum, I think he should stay. But I think he just got to go what's in his gut. And I think if he goes what's in his gut, he might leave, actually, the more I think about it. Right? He had more success with Ben Thomas. This year didn't go great. The only thing on Instagram, I mean, this could easily be just pure speculation by somebody, is the doctor says my vision is 20/24. But that just reiterates, next year's a huge year for everyone, especially a guy like this. It's all about the Olympics, especially if you've never made a team.
Yeah, think about the Americans we're going to have in that prime next year. Yard Naguse, Grant Fisher, two of probably the two best talents of their generation on the track. I mean, if you're counting Chalimo as a previous generation, this is their prime Olympics. This is the one where they're going to medal or they're not going to medal. Or if they're ever going to win a gold medal, this is going to be the one it happens because LA 2028, they're probably going to be older on the downswing. Huge year for those guys next year. Huge.